Morning, everyone. Welcome to Laurel Park. Naomi Tucker alongside Keith Fusel. Keith, we've got 9 races coming up. It's a beautiful day out here again today. We're running on a fast main track. No turf action today, though.
It's like we're fooling everybody. We get up here, it's beautiful weather, but trust us, we had a lot of rain in the area, and we had to deal with that, unfortunately, off the turf today. The main track fast. Hopefully we'll be back on the grass tomorrow. Sure is green, I can tell you that. It's in very good condition, though. I mean, the races last week, I mean, it's playing fair. So we'll look to get back on that turf course tomorrow. But, yeah, fast track day, it's just a beautiful day, very comfortable. The sun is shining, a few little puffy clouds here in the Laurel area, and we're all set. This is a big weekend from, you've got the Belmont, obviously, but going through these race cards at Laurel Park, whew, man, I mean, confusing me a lot. As a morning line maker, it kind of drove me to drink a little bit on a few of the occasions. I needed something to get me over the top to maybe see some of these races. They were difficult to get through. So, again, I'm looking for some good value, some prices along the way all weekend long at Laurel. That's what we like. Bet a little, make a lot.
I agree with you there. And look, historically speaking, you've done pretty well throwing in your price plays, especially if you want to box a couple of horses and then really create some value there, right? That's something that we've seen you do quite frequently with success.
We talked about it the other day on the show when we're looking at races this time of year. The turf and our fields have gotten a little bit bigger. If you've been boxing the selections, you've been making money. That's all I can tell you. Take those nuggets, some of those bigger prices out of those top 4 picks, go get them.
Well, let's get going here. We've got 9 races coming your way. Race number 1 is a 5.5 furlong sprint event on the dirt here, claiming $12,500 to $10,000 for the fillies and mares. And we kind of see this similarly. Of course, there were a couple of scratches here because we're not running on the turf. Congress Hall is an MTO, main track only, meaning she's getting exactly what she wanted. She's really started to cycle back up when sprinting again. Just missed out for the win by a head last time out after rolling into strong fractions. A lot of it that William Humphrey comes on here. He's started to do very well for himself.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Learning the trade and getting that experience that he needs. Off of a top last time out, really got a good trip. Was able to save ground every step of the way. Worked outward to close into a good field. I thought that was, that was a very promising effort. Got some questionable speed in here. Shaka Boom should have held better last time. Did not. Hence, I'm going to go ahead and try to beat her. Let Congress Hall come running late. I'll key her top and bottom in my exactas.
Yeah, I use Shaka Boom in my exacta based on that. She is most likely going to be alone on the lead, like you said. She kind of faded last time, but before that, over course and distance at this level, she took them all the way. It was with a little bit more moisture in your ground. You have a fast track today, but she's definitely one to use for me. You already mentioned the number 4, Bullets Lady, who is trying to get back to some of her better figures, back-to-back wins earlier this year. Just a small break, and then look at those works coming in. This is a stable that does well with horses that have a little bit of a break, freshen them up, start working them in the morning. She's giving the right signs.
No doubt. Got the confidence boosted 2 races back then, was against the grain of the racetrack. She has the speed to kind of get in position and force the pace of Shaka Boom. I hope they can kind of engage, set things up for my closer there in Congress Hall.
Yeah, we'll see how things pans out in race number 1. Race number 2 starts that early pick 4. How are we creating the value today?
I wish I had a lot more money to go a little bit deeper with these tickets. I got to get a single home. If I don't get the single home, play the pick 3 right after that is all I can tell you. Dat Dares Gold's a single, number 4 in race number 2. 3 deep in the third with the 2, 3, 4. There's a spread in race 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 11, 12. Yeah. I mean, that's how difficult. Even off the turf, that's how difficult that race came up for me, Naomi. And wrap it up in the 5th with the 3, 4, and 5. Big, tall dog, I think, offers value. Numbers maybe don't jump out and grab you. This horse is in very good form. I think he'll transition it to a fast track for Kieran. $27, that early pick 4 ticket.
I'm very intrigued by race number 4 as well. But look, you got a single here in race number 2, the conditioned $5,000 claiming for fillies and mares 3-year-old and up, 5.5 furlongs the distance here. Like, I landed on different runners. I guess trying to beat your single in here, but let's talk about her first. 8-year-old Dat Dares Gold for trainer Kenny Cox. Last win came in November of 2021. After that, she's been coming with a move, trying, but really hasn't been able to seal the deal. But she does get back down to this conditioned $5,000 level.
And that's her friend. The condition is her friend. You go back, she's got a streak of wins. when she runs for this condition, right? So I like it. I think there's enough speed in here to set it up. She'll be able to draft over, save some ground. Blue Sky Venezuela, Joyful Noise, good run last time, a good effort. I think she's going to be poised to make a run from just off the pace. I think the one is the key speed here. Our True Sensation. She'll jump up and carry it a little bit further. Last time, again, was against the bias. She has speed, needs an alert break from the inside. She'll carry it a little bit longer today.
Yeah, I used her on my exact as well. I think this distance is a touch bit better for her, the 5.5, just allowing her to keep using that speed and not get caught out belatedly. I ended up using Make It a Double as my top selection here for James Casey. McLovey Enriquez remains on board. Her outside position, I think, gives her options here. She's quite tactical. She can kind of be free to keep flowing, keep rolling, no interruptions kind of thing. She has bag figures to suggest that she can do better. And she's kind of consistently started to move up again. She's a 5-year-old mare. She's now going to make her second start for the Casey Barn. We do know that these older mares sometimes, when going to different environments, start to kind of come back into form a little bit again.
Absolutely. They're tricky, these fillies and mares. They get a little bit longer in the tooth. And then you're right. They get a little bit moody, don't they? They bring a couple races and then they tail off, and it's a change of scenery. Something else picks their head,
freshes them up.
And brings them back. So I think they're their goal, though. I mean, she has to kind of go off form to not be 1-2 in here. Yep.
Yeah, we'll see how things unfold in race number 2. Started that early pick 4. Race number 3 is a claiming $12.5 to $10,000 event, 6 furlong sprinting distance for 3-year-olds and up. And look, we both ended up landing on the same prize user here, the number 2 Fast Cash for trainer Marius Ray Jr. I feel like there's so much pace tied on here. The race really sets it up for him. Just missed out last time, trying to run into a bit of a softer flow. It's kind of an average, just below average when it came to the time from US. Coning had a couple of blue marks in there as well. But you found a stat for this runner as well.
Yeah, it's a positive stat here for Mario Saray Jr. What this, the last 2 years, Naomi, 12 for 63, 19%. It's solid on this kind of jump, right? 50% jump up in claiming price in the dirt sprint category. 423, big, gaudy ROI right there. And you said it, the abundance of speed. Now third race back off like a 90, was it a 93-day break? Yeah, it looked like he was going to win it last time. It drifts a little bit sometimes around the turn, straightens and comes on, but moving back in the right direction. You've got Bernie's on fire, bringing those figs. First time for Rob is going to be out there with Royal Thunder, who's quick, Revolutionary Road. I like Fast Cash, or maybe even Air on Fire. First off the claim here for Kieran McGee, working well into this off of the claim to go ahead and sit those inside trips, save as much ground as long as when they steadily advance to the quarter pole. I think they got the finish to maybe get over the top. One of these two, the 2 or the 3, and give you a square price.
Yeah, no, this is actually a bit of an open affair because a lot of pace tied on. You already mentioned Royal Thunder, most likely going to try and take the lead early. Drops down quite steeply from the allowance level where he's actually been holding his own there. I thought it was interesting that Jean Novello doesn't end up on Royal Thunder. We get a new jockey in Jeremy Barbosa on board. Now we know how much J-Ron has enjoyed getting back to Laurel Park again. Seems to be flying. So that intrigues me as well.
No doubt, no doubt. He certainly works on this horse, and Bernie's on fire, kind of an X factor. Brings, some big figures. Where's he been? Okay, avoided claim off of that. But working for him, he's shown the ability to come from just off of it as well. So I'm going to take a little bit of a wait-and-see approach on him. I fear the barn. Quality barn, they do great work year in and year out. Tough combination there. This horse, I think, will make his presence known. Will he get that last little bit against this group? He's going to have to be really tied on to get it done.
Yeah, no, this is definitely a wide open affair, and hence we both go with the price bait to try and capitulate on the projected flow that we both see unfolding here in race number 3. Race number 4 is a maiden claiming event, $25,000 to $20,000 tags, 5.5 furlongs distance on the main track. And let's start with your top selection in here. So a runner that I ended up using in my exacta, of course. Kind of had to re-handicap this field, right? It was all of a sudden a very different complexion. You landed on the speedster on the outside, the number 12, going to jump from gate number 9, if I'm correct, for trainer Laurel Roadcap. Jumped up big time last time out on his second career start. He found a fast track for the first time that day. Really showed that he can get out of the gate, get to the front, be focused, and only lost by a length and a quarter.
And this guy took some play first time out, and you were talking Divining Rods. Obviously, we know they've been precocious. They're winning at a clip, I think, of over 20%. First time out, the barn, Laura Rocap, hadn't had a whole lot of firsters, right, over the last 3 or 4 years. They had all performed well. This one, not so much on on April the 7th, but boy, the blinkers went on. The speed really showed up. This is a wide open affair. Hence, I'm all over the map in my pick 4. But you know what? Catch me if you can again. The 19th of Pimlico, you wanted to be off the rail. This horse was 2-path and then drifted in. I think he stretches the speed in here and takes them a long, long way. But there's a lot of different horses in here to use in the mix as well. Class Wizard, a horse that ran well in debut. A little freshening should rally. Inside Stunt, another one. A good effort on a speed day made a run into it. Yeah.
Yeah, I used him in 4th, but he went up against an odds-on favorite that day. But he gave a good account of himself. He went a couple of paths wide, really didn't get the easiest trip. This is going to be his first time on a fast dirt track. Can definitely move up from that.
No
There's
doubt.
much more to be found there. So use him as a saver in 4th there, because I ended up landing on a first-time starter based on the Russell factor here. I didn't particularly like the pedigree side that much with this runner, but I like the fact that there's gotten plenty of works into him to get him ready here. And plus, Brittany Russell, first-time starter as a 3-year-old in a maiden claiming event, 8 from 28, 29% winners, 57% in the money. Well, that's a stat that I feel like kind of has me, toppling over, saying I'm going to take a first-time start in here and perhaps hopefully still get somewhat of a price. Normally we always see very heavy favoritism when it comes to first with Brittany Russell, but I do believe that this race is a bit more open in complexion when you look at the other runners.
I think if the money comes in heavy on this horse, then it means that he is going to be okay on the dirt. I mean, I know it's the Russell Barn and it's a little, the field, some scratches here off the turf, but still, everything leans turf when I'm looking at this breeding, right, Naomi? When you look, so
both siblings run on turf their entire careers. I agree.
I didn't use this guy in my top 4. He will be used in the exactas, and you saw him. He's on my pick 4 ticket. So this is a real scramble type of a race. Hence, I'm going with a horse outside, clear sailing, go to the front, and go as far as you possibly can. Hopefully, it's all the way.
Yeah, this is definitely a wide open affair here in race number 4. Race number 5 is first level allowance race, 5.5 furlongs the distance there. I landed on the number 5 Sugar Gray Leonard on top, so we might as well just have a look at his last start, where he sat very, very chilly behind the leader before just taking over. He looked very comfortable with the pace. He looked comfortable being close up to it. That was 7 furlongs though. He returns to the 5.5, but I think he's going to sit in that kind of second flight of runners, and this is the type of individual that with every run thus far he's taken that next step. He's gotten better and faster, more progressive.
You're right. He was very comfortable at the 7/8, but he's shown even in the 2-back race against Super Love, who's been proven to be an allowance type of horse, to be close to that 45 and change kind of pace. I think he might be best suited just to sit just a little further back. There's some quick horses in here. See the finish that he brings. A little bit something left in the tank. It looks like it's well going through. This horse is progressing beautifully here for Brittany Russell.
Yeah, I agree. So I have him on top, but you actually tried to beat him with 2 others in here. One of them being Big Tall Dog for trainer Kieran McGee. He jumps back up to the allowance level after having competed against Open Claiming as well as started allowance field with success in his last 2. Will get himself a decent position again, but does have to, in my book, kind of up the ante a little bit here.
A little bit. But, I mean, his races visually to me are better than what those numbers are saying, the buyer figures. He can close from just off of it. He's beaten by those horses, but that was back before the claim. He's improved. He's been really, really gritty the last couple races, overcome some adversity. Why not keep him close in range? I think he's within a couple lengths at the quarter pole. He's got a shot to wear this field down. Evenly matched, though, field of 6. Another race you've kind of got to use a lot of these horses.
Yeah, and I used Magic Mule, and you did as well. His last outing was very strong, I thought. He received pressure from a short price favorite in Shaq's Way, battled him all the way to the wire, near career best effort. Can he continue and do something similar here? Because that would be good enough to win this field.
That was going to be a great day to start the day, May 21st. I know that at 9-1. I like this guy. On top, it was an aggressive ride from Lynch, taking advantage. That track was holding speed. You wanted to be close. He put him up in there, kind of aggressive to get position, leaving the 3/8 as well. I think there might have even been a foul claim in there, but everything stayed as is. He was really gritty to the wire. I've chased this guy a lot. I'm not going to leave him out again. I think he's forward a long way.
Yeah, I use him in my exacta as well. So we take a quick break before we proceed with the rest of the card.
And here comes Point of Entry.
Point of Entry's taking the lead.
Point of Entry wins. Lakou Parfait is finishing hard along the inside. Lakou Parfait takes out the Derby.
Welcome back to Laurel Park. We're on race number 6 of 9 today, meaning that late pick 4 starts here. I decided to try and throw together a ticket that is affordable, yet I hope will be effective as well. 3 deep here in race number 6, 4, 5, and 10 for me. And then in race number 7, 3 deep again using the 1, the 3, and the 10. I key around hard to be humble. I think it's going to take them a long way from that inside draw, but didn't want to get caught out, but most are safe on the outside. Or the number 3, He's Orientate, who does tend to jump up at a price or 2. He keeps flying under the radar. So threw in some value there because I single on a Moray for trainer Todd Pletcher. Comes in for my racehorse and Spendthrift Farm. Very strong 2 starts back when making her, well, basically getting her first career win. Didn't have a fun race last time. I ended up being pulled up. I did hear from the connections that they checked her out completely and that she's doing well. So I'm giving her another chance in here and hopefully she can get the job done for me. And then in the nightcap, I go 2 deep. It's a field of 3, but I do believe that And Awesome Man as well as Bad to the Bones. Just a slight edge to Bad to the Bones for trainer Graham Motion. Look very live in that spot. $9 ticket. I think this is fun. That's what you want to do on your Friday.
If you want to throw in that 3 to make it the all button in Alaska, right ahead.
Well,
That's not going to bump the ticket up too much. I hope you don't get beat by that one. That's great. I've seen it before.
If that happens, then I'm sure I'll be reading the text from you when I get caught out with it. Yeah, you might as well throw the 3.
Yeah,
and
why
you hit
not?
the all button. And you know you got the last race locked and loaded, and you're just waiting for a Moray to come in the race before, right? So race number 6 is a maiden $25,000 to $20,000 event, 7 furlongs the distance here. And let's actually start with my top selection because we do have video spotlight on Flaming East for trainer Lacey Gaudet. We look back at his start of the race where he actually ends up hitting the gate on the inside. Then he gets squeezed quite a bit early, really had to force his way out of that position. I think with a cleaner break here is going to show more pace because clearly was caught on the back foot ever so slightly, but I did like the way he finished off that race.
Exactly. A little pinball, right? Bumper cars out of the gate, but was able to kind of move into a very quick pace, get position, a little alter of the course right there at the quarter pole, and really gives up maybe just a couple lengths, really, Naomi, from the top of the stretch home. So all in all, a good effort considering that early adversity leaving the starting gate, because that horse was bounced around pretty good right there. Look at that, giving willing chase past mid-stretch. Catches a field here for 25, right back at you. Another field. Difficult for me to separate 4, 5, even 6 horses. So I do think Flaming East is going to be part of the pace. A little stretch out here, the 7/8. I think a little bit more relaxed flow will carry this horse, given a good break this afternoon for trainer Lacey Gaudet. And when Lacey Gaudet and Thais Live seem to get pretty good. They hit it a sneaky good rate and an okay ROI. I go outside to Love You Bye Bye. You've got this one in the mix here. The 10 for Roy Peacock, Terry Overmeyer. An improved effort at a big price. This horse is a half to Whiskey and You, the big horse, right, for Terry Overmeyer. I like the strides this horse made. Was in front of a heavy favorite that had a lot of trouble, right? Frightland was like 30 cents to the dollar that day. This was the one that gave out the big payout, was this winner, right? Sky of Gold on that afternoon. So I will think, I will use Love You Bye Bye, hopefully kind of a stalking position. I don't know if he wants to get into any kind of duel early because there's some other horses that want to be forward, but gives you value here too.
I use him underneath. I guess the question is, can he continue that speed to the 7 furlong? But the way he was trying late made me think that extra furlong really shouldn't be a problem at all. I also used the 5 Queen Cannon in here for Susan Cooney. Came out of that same Flaming East race. So even if you watch very closely in that replay, you saw that Queen Cannon sat behind the pace, was trying to make a move, got steady twice, mid-turn and then coming into the lane. Had to move outwards sharply by Matt Clovey Enriquez Jr. on the day. Finished off well enough. Not a great debut. I think we can expect much more with a much cleaner trip. A little bit of a sneaky underneath horse.
I agree. Susan Koenig scored at a price the other day, right, in the opener with the Turf Runner at like 8, 9 to 1. So, I saw that. A little bit of trouble. 49 buyer. I mean, what are you going to need to win this? A high 50 probably when it's all said and done. There's not going to be, you know, a whole lot of improvement needed. I thought he rolls. The 6 ran really, really big last time. Ran too good to lose into those quick fractions.
Yeah.
Sandwich in between Dream Happy, a dropper. The third horse was a dropper off a claim, I think, off some time for Damon. The right kind, and the heart that he showed, he should be able to carry that speed a little bit longer today. Bourbon on the Bay is the one lurking that might have the best run. Has to time it well, though.
Yeah.
Doesn't want to get caught wide when making that run from the 3/8. Try to draft him behind horses and then go from there.
Yeah, I used him in 4th as well. I like that Johan Rosado gets the call here. I do think he does a really tremendous job as well. And this is a fun field. I think you can create some value here, and hopefully we'll see a couple of prices, or hopefully
Agreed.
in my late big 4 though. So it has to probably be my top 3 here, because that's how I wanted to start out the big 4, to then single and go tighter in the latter sections. Race number 7 is a first level allowance, 5.5 furlongs on the dirt here. Key round, similar horses you landed on. He's Orientate. Now, I already mentioned he's Orientate. I liked his last 2 outings. What we do see with him, that most frequently when he lines up in a field, tends to kind of be flying under the radar. He doesn't attract that much wagering attention, but his performance last time out was very, very strong. The only worry I have is he does tend to run a touch better on ground with moisture in it. Career best came over it. He's bred to enjoy it. He's 2 from 3 on it. Does get a fast track here.
I'm going to go send the water trucks out before this race then, right about a minute to post. Just go ahead, throw a little extra.
Sorry, we had an issue with weather out there.
Yeah, we wanted to cash a bet. No, but he's Orientate. You know what I like? He's paired up 2 good races. Finally done it. He's put back-to-back efforts together. I think he's got the speed with a good break to go ahead and hound Hard to Be Humble, who's going to be, I would think, rolling right out of there from the inside. That's going to be his best option today, but this guy had something left last time, rode the kind of the way of the racetrack. I think he's good right now. I think he's sharp. Hence, a little bit later, you're going to see he's going to be targeted as one of my plays. So
yeah, no, Hard to Be Humble is the one I went with, because I think John Avello has got his work cut out for him. Just go to the front and try and take them as far as he can. He's taking them all the way over 7 furlongs. So so he's got the speed. It looks like on this sort of pace projection, there's a couple of scratches. He's going to be able to get away with it. Perhaps on the outside, back in the woods, can show up with some speed, depending on how he shows up on the day. But aside from that, I think he's going to get the run of the race in here. And you use Moser Safe, who I did in my exacta too. First time against winners, but showed a lot of affinity for these shorter distances. Has won and ran 2nd in his last 3, so kind of progressively moving forward. And that figure 2 start to go puts him right in here. It does.
It does. He's going to have to kind of bounce back up off of that last race, in which he was wide on the 19th. You wanted to kind of be there. The track was a little funky that day, but he kept on churning and got up. The 2-back race was good. That's the one I'm looking at, and he's showing the ability to come from a little further back. He'll be able to draft in, should be able to get position in this shorter field. Race number 8 is a first level optional claimer for fillies, a 3-year-old, 1 turn mile. Clearly a very key race for me and my ticket. Singling on Amore. Let's have a look at 2 starts ago when she broke her maiden for trainer Todd Pletcher at Aqueduct, where she was prompting the pace that day from gate 5. On her inside was Huluk. She came under pressure. You can see here she took over. I love the fact that she actually responded to Louis' size, because it didn't look like he had more horse than Huluk had. Now, if you look at Huluk came back to run 2nd in the Weber City Miss not too long ago. And Amore then came up against optional claimer type. Next out, apparently she was getting out ever so slightly. Louis' size ends up pulling her up. I got the chance to speak with some of the my racehorse connections. They said they checked her out. She's doing very well. They couldn't find any fault, so I'm giving her another shot in here. Yeah, she's going to come down off of that morning line with Charming Way scratch. She's re-entered. We'll see her over the weekend, but you're right. 2nd time Lasix. Kaluk keyed up an 80 over the surface behind Luna Bell. But watching that video, she looks more like a grinding type, so she better get tied on by the time they hit the top of the stretch, because Baby Man, she's going to be rolling. I mean, she's quick. She's very fast. Rodriguez, he's on a tear of late, bringing horses. You know, he's always done well year in and year out. But the last 6 months, a year or so, he's very, very strong. So she's got to keep that one in her sights and go on by. I think she will. I think they find the right kind of spot. Pletcher always dangerous, no doubt. He's dangerous everywhere, but he's done just fine. But it's interesting. Maybe like a confidence booster here. You're thinking about this spot. Maybe she still is not quite cranked up for those horses up there and catches the right kind of field here today. But
I think she
Baby
does.
Man's going to be tough as well.
Yeah, how about Wet My Beak? You have her in your exacta for Graham Motion. She'll have no problem with the one-turn mile, the distance. She's that grinder type of running style. She proven to be quite effective around 2 turns. I think over this configuration is going to bring out even more what she's capable of. That kind of keep on going, keep on fighting, because we are going to that second wire.
She can definitely make a jump. That was a kind of a walk early, sprint home late, and she did it against the grain last time out. So I'm going to project some improvement on her, no doubt about it. I think, and if things get a little interesting up top, even Glow City, who's improved here for Rudy Sanchez-Solomon, this is the one that's going to be lurking to finish things up from that 8th pole home.
Yeah, race number 9 is the finale here, maiden special weight, mile and 1/8 on the main track. So we did have a couple of scratches. We will be lining up with the 2, the 3, and the 4 in total. Both you and I give a slight edge to Bad to the Bones for trainer Graham Motion, who stepped it up to the further distance last time out on the turf. I thought that was a decent effort. Saw some improvement here by the son of Arrogate. I think this sets up for him to do well again here. And look, Fergal Lynch on board. I think he's going to make sure that he remains close. This is interesting, right? You have a 3-horse field. All of a sudden, there's a little bit more thinking tactical-wise involved, right, when it comes to the jocks riding.
That first 1/8 of a mile, and you look at this horse, he might have a little bit more speed on the dirt as well. Saratoga pinched back at the break into some quick fractions, made a little run before flattening. Second off the bench here. I think this guy is, I think I'd like to see him just try to take control early and go. But a nice improve from Awesome Man. The unknown, no doubt, is fleeting at day. So blinkers on, LASIK's on, breeding suggests dirt. Yeah. I'd like to have them all here.
There's 2, so maybe I should be adding the third horse just to have the finale locked in.
I'm not completely sold, but Bad to the Bones look like the field's just a little bit better up there in New York. Some key rivals. Horses that come out of there, I think one of those horses came out and broke its maiden at Keeneland.
Yeah, no, I definitely think that Bad to the Bones to face the right kind comes in for a trainer that does well with these type of runners. Just trying to get their maiden score here. And Fergal Lynch, of course, has been riding incredibly high, as we're about to see, because we're going to move on to lightning round, and we are going to start off with the jockey standings. Fergal Lynch and Jaron Barbosa both top at the leaderboard here. 4 wins each. I was just mentioning how Fergal Lynch has really started to fly, just a touch bit more prize money than young Jaron Barbosa. But this is already shaping up to be a fun jockey challenge.
And you see these trainers too with the turf. They go looking for Fergal Lynch, don't they? He just pops up for your top barns. Really good ride the other day. He won 2 right on the grass. Spun Glass, and the other one, the name's escaping me. It was
I'm trying to look
Sabelli's
back
horse,
well.
right? If I'm not mistaken, who had a little bit of trouble earlier, or was it Voss? It was Voss. I think it was Voss. That horse, I figured to be up on the pace, pressing. No, once the adversity hit out of the gate, he says, "No, we're going to change our tactics here." Got the horse to relax, work through some traffic, worked outside, and got it done. So. Yeah, Fergal Lynch, this turf is holding up. He is going to be a menace for the other riders, no doubt.
I agree. And then let's look at the trainers' standings. It does seem that Claudio Gonzalez is quite content being back at Laurel Park again. Of course, being able to run his horses from his backyard, from their stalls, certainly helps as well.
And you might catch a couple, at okay prices, because the form, they were tailing off a little bit. Rejuvenated back here at Laurel Park. You might sneak away with a couple value plays here for Claudio. And there's the rest of the gang. Dale Cap, Mike Trombetta, Jamie Ness, Michael Merriman, an up-and-coming trainer, is doing well. He's got some live turf sprinters in his barn, no doubt.
Deep training colony here as well. And we are looking forward to the return of Wonder Where Craig is, of course, trying to defend his De France's Dash crown. Was the winner of the 2021 renewal, and we're hoping to see him back here again in this year's race. He went to Dubai, tried against some tough sprinters in the Group 1 Golden Shaheen, ended up finishing 10th that day. But I was reading up that Brittany Russell had mentioned that he's doing very well, got back on the work tab. I do believe he worked 4 furlongs, 48 and 4 on June the 5th, and that's kind of indicating that he does well.
I'm sure he will come back and give a very good account of himself, no doubt. He's quick.
Oh, he is very, very quick. Now a 5-year-old, but kind of sporadically campaigned, right?
Yeah,
They take
he
his
has
time
been.
with
Yep.
him. He takes well to having a break and then racing and then a couple of races, then taking another break again. They're being very patient with him, and he rewards them for it. So yeah,
That's the
looking
key.
forward to seeing him again. Of course, you already keyed up. It's Friday today. Belmont Stakes tomorrow, the finale of the Triple Crown race. And you can watch all the action right here with us at Laurel Park. We have early gates opening 10:45. Advanced wagering options for the full Belmont card. Of course, plenty of food and drink specials. So come and join us to see if perhaps the Kentucky Derby winner can put it back together in the Belmont Stakes. Unfortunately, we didn't see him in the Preakness. Does line up here, but I'm rooting for Creative Minister, who ran 3rd in the Preakness, who's also lining up in the Belmont Stakes.
He's another one. You can't really fault his effort. He's had a very good trip in the Preakness. I think my comment was churned on, just kind of steadily grinding, giving effort to the wire. He's certainly bred to stretch out, handle some more ground. He's going in the right direction. Figures going up, up, and up. I'm interested in the filly, Nest. I mean, I thought she had a tough kind of go of it down in the Oaks. Pletcher, dangerous. I think, looking for that value play could work things out for her. We'll see.
Yeah, I'd love to see a girl beat the boys
got a shot.
in the Test of the Champion, 1.5 on the main track at Belmont Park. It's no easy feat. As we finish off the morning show here with some wagering advice from us. You got a best bet and a price play for us, I do believe.
Well, I always think about the best bet, and to me, it's you got to have a little bit of value. So I'm not going to sit here and give out a 4 to 5. If you're looking maybe for a key horse like that or a single along the way, go ahead and do so. So I go to He's Orientate. We talked about it earlier. He's paired up races, turf and dirt. He's got the speed to stay close enough to the horse in the rail hard to be able to kind of press him and go on. So I just think he's finally putting it together. He comes out cleanly. He'll be right there at the end.
Yeah, I like that pick. That's a gutsy one. Like you said, tends to fly under the radar, so you tend to get a bit of decent value on him as well. But talking about a value play, you have a long shot, which is also my value play of the day in race number 3 with Fast Cash. You already mentioned the statistics on the trainer Marissa Jr. when jumping up runners in class.
That's the key. The stat kind of supports it there. It's still, again, what I have this horse line about 6 to 1 on the line. So hopefully we can stay around that. You'll know 3/8. If he's not ramping up by then, I'm going to be worried. They're going to be rolling out front. I think he rallies into this pace. May not win it, but he's using your exactas. That's the key. You've got a live long shot. Use him in that first, second, third hole around, and kind of key him to get the most value.
Yeah, key around some other holes. Yeah, my best bet of the day is Amore, the number 1 in race number 8 for Top Fletcher. She's the type that I want to single because I do believe that she lines up in here with just, if you look at the figures, if she can come back, she's just a touch better than some others. So let's hope that my faith here is justified. And then I did have my price play being the same one as you with Fast Cash there, drawn in gate 2. I think he's got that tactical ability to run at them in a pretty competitive field, but I think he can make it work. You already made the case for him as well. So that will conclude the morning show for us today. Callie and I will be back this afternoon to guide you through today's 9-race card. It's a beautiful sunny day, so come and join us. And of course, be present with us tomorrow as well to watch all the action, including the final leg of the Triple Crown, the Belmont Stakes here, with plenty of wagering options and a couple of food specials as well. So
absolutely.
The place to be is here.
Hopefully you can come out and join us. Granted, go see the pizza lady, get a bucket of beer. You can't beat the bucket of beer prices at Laurel Park. It's awesome. Get a slice of pizza, a hamburger. They're working the grill. There's hard at it. Everybody else around here, take care of your bartenders. As I always say, it'll be a fun day, a longer day. So you know what you got to do? The first thing, you got to load up that first bet account. Load it up. You can sit there if you don't want to run to the window. You bet on your phone. Get tied on.
It's so easy. You don't have to queue up, and you can just see the options, make a couple of different wagers. And who needs to be in New York when you got the pizza down here, right?
You got it. You got it. We got the pizza lady. Go on with it, Karen. That's my girl down there at the pizza counter. So, have a great day. Again, if you can come out, join us. This is a really good betting card. The whole weekend, you're going to have a lot of betting opportunities. So, best of luck.
Yeah, good luck, everyone.